welcome to episode 23 of Movies and Us. I'm TJ.
And I'm Marcus.
And this is the review show that reviews genre movies, I should say, from the beginning, sometimes, kind of, sort of, whatever. We're going into the best movie ever. As we go into 1997's Steel. It is an hour and 36 minutes. It was directed and written by Kenneth Johnson. Do you know who Kenneth Johnson was?
No, I don't. Do you?
Apparently, he created the Incredible Hulk TV show.
Really?
Yeah, and he did The Bionic Woman and Alien Nation.
He also directed Short Circuit, too. I did know Alien Nation, yeah. But wow, yeah. He's got a whole list of shit behind his belt.
Apparently, there was a few nods to Alien Nation in this movie. I have never seen that show, so I couldn't tell you what they were.
Sadly, my mom could tell you. She used to love that show and loves those movies, so.
And apparently he was brought on. He didn't want to do a superhero movie, but they kind of convinced him that it wasn't a superhero movie, which is a superhero movie, just not the one you're expecting, I guess.
Well, they don't call it superhero. They call him what? A superhuman being, I guess.
Whatever they want to call him, it's still a superhero movie. Batman's a superhero, so he doesn't have powers.
That's very true.
Anyway, let's see. It's produced by David Salzman, Quincy Jones, and Joel Simon.
That's right, the Quincy Jones, ladies and gentlemen. Can't just glance over that name, TJ.
I don't know who that is.
Oh, what?
No idea.
He is a music producer, like Michael Jackson and like everyone big at the time.
Not big on the music scene at all.
Oh, but it's Quincy. I'm not into music and I know who he is.
Yeah, well, you're talking about a guy who doesn't pay attention to any of that. I don't even know bands' names of songs that I like.
Now, you see these people? This is what you're listening to.
I spend all my time podcasting, so what do you expect?
He worked with Frank Sinatra, man. Come on.
Yeah, well, good for him.
Oh, good for him. God, what?
Can I get through the credits now?
Yeah, I guess.
It's starring Shaquille O'Neal.
Do you know who that is?
I know who Shaquille O'Neal is.
He's got to play basketball. I almost said football. Wow.
I actually knew what the jokes they were referencing with his jokes throughout this movie. Actually knew what they were talking about. So
that's funny. Okay.
I actually know more about sports than I do about music.
That's fascinating.
So, it starred Shaquille O'Neal, Annabeth Gish, Richard Roundtree, and Judd Nelson. All right. So, are we ready to get into it? Oh, we got to do the box office.
Well, the box office is the same as last week's with Batman and Robin at number 9.
No. I'm talking about this movie's box office.
Oh, no, yeah.
Not the year in box office. We did that last year. Steel had a $16 million budget, and it only made back $1.7 million.
$1.7 million. Abysmal.
Yeah, that's what I said. That's the number I threw out there that you just repeated.
And it placed at 194 on the list of 97 movies.
Out of 97 movies, it placed 104.
No, I know, it sounded weird. I thought, like, man, no one catches that. In the year 1997, it placed 194, which isn't that bad, honestly. I mean, it's bad, but it's not the worst.
So, yeah, I mean, last week we did Batman and Robin, before we go into Steel proper. And that movie kind of broke Marcus. And
it did break me.
And I was kind of done by the end of that review, so we forgot to give our final review of the whole Batman series as a whole and stuff like that, like we did with Christopher Reeves.
At least the Tim Burton era, yeah.
Yes. So of these 4 Batman movies. So overall, what did you think, Marcus?
It's bad because I can only think about Batman and Robin. Okay, so let's break it down. So the first one was Batman, Michael Keaton and Jack Nicholson. Mm-hmm. Overall, I really enjoyed it. It's a good movie. Then there was Batman Returns, Michael Keaton, and Danny DeVito, and Michelle Pfeiffer. No, that was better than the first one, in my opinion. And then came along Batman Forever, right?
Yeah. Tommy Lee Jones and Jim Carrey.
And yeah, that was probably even better. It's just this, can't say better, but it was more fun. And the actors carried that one.
It was not bad.
No, it's what Batman and Robin wanted to do, but failed. It was the campy version, but more enjoy. I can't even say more enjoyable. So I did enjoy it, but I know overall like, it's not great. But that's my opinion. And then there was Batman Robin, which was just a train wreck from beginning to end. Overall, like each one had different takes on. Obviously, the first one was like more family friendly. The next one was more Tim Burton-y, edgelordy fun or creepiness. Then the campy funness. Like it had an identity crisis, all four of them, or that whole series, but in a good way.
I mean, it did dip in quality after the first one. It just kept sliding downhill after that.
I think it got better in some parts though.
Yeah, but you cannot. But like only Tim Burton got really Tim Burton in the second one, which dragged that movie down.
Yes.
So it didn't make the first Batman overall as a whole movie is a better movie than the rest of them.
On that aspect, yeah, just because it was cohesive.
And then from that movie on, it just got worse and worse based on the whole cohesiveness thing.
Yeah. So as a series as a whole, am I ready to rate the last series?
Well, instead of rating the whole series, let's just do this. Did you enjoy watching the series again? Was it worth it, your time?
Yes and no, because there was a lot of it like that felt like a chore to get through, and a lot of it was enjoyable. So, like, was it worth my time? Did I really enjoy it? I can't say I enjoyed watching them all again.
But I know the first Superman series was your first viewing of it.
Yeah,
and this is a return, so it's kind of a different take on it.
Exactly. I don't know. I should, because I'm just so angry at the last one, so it kind of taints my view.
Well, it's funny. It's the Batman series kind of followed the same formula as the Superman series.
Yes.
As, getting worse and worse down to the bottom.
Which is usually how most franchises at the time did. Nowadays, they get better and better once they find their footing. But yeah, usually the outing is like, okay, that's good. The second one's like, not terrible. And it slowly waters down. I can't say I hated watching Batman again. Some of it was fun, some of it was blah.
Yeah. All right. So then how would you compare it with Superman? Which is the better series?
Superman. Just for the facts, not Reed Richards. What's this guy's actor's name?
Christopher Reeves.
Yeah, Christopher Reeves. As him alone carried that series and has made it so. Even in the worst ones, he was still enjoyable to watch in it. And he would carry. Yeah. He was making fun. Really, you don't think so?
No, I said yeah.
Oh, okay. They said yeah. Like there's no way. So,
No, you're right.
And in these Batman ones, the best actor in the movies couldn't save the material and the direction.
Well, up until the last movie, they could. Because Jim Carrey and Tommy Lee Jones did save that Batman Forever movie.
Yeah. Even, again, I still stand by that. Even Val Kilmer, I enjoy thoroughly as Batman / Bruce Wayne.
And, any movie you have Jack Nicholson or Danny DeVito in it, it's going to be almost stellar,
And that's the thing, like, all four of those movies had star-studded casts. All four of them. Even, which one?
I mean, Arnold's very limited in his acting ability.
I'm not saying good actor, I'm saying stars. Like, that's Arnold Schwarzenegger in his prime, yeah.
That's star power, him, sure.
I think right before or after Predator, like, that's, like, Commando. Like, that's Arnold Schwarzenegger. Like, come on, man.
But Jack Nicholson can carry a movie.
Oh, God, yeah.
Regardless of what movie he's in.
Yes.
I don't think Arnold can carry any movie he's in.
Well, that's why he also had Uma Thurman.
And Uma Thurman was good in it.
George Clooney. Chris O'Donnell. I can't forget the female's name.
Alicia Silverstone.
Yes, like, it's a good cast.
It is a good cast, you're right.
It's just Arnold, like...
It was a bad
movie. Yeah, it's just a bad movie. And I guess they didn't have the charisma as...
Well, it's kind of hard to act in a movie that's nothing but a commercial.
Yeah. But that movie aside, because we talked about enough last, I would definitely recommend the Superman series.
Yeah, Superman series is better than the Batman series.
Yeah. Not saying this was a bad series, it's just overall.
Well, it's bad at point.
Well, the same thing with Superman.
Well, at least this series is objectively bad. All right. Anyway, we're not here to talk about Batman, even though we just spent 15 minutes talking about Batman.
There's a lot to say about that movie. Yeah. That series, that character.
But now that we put that era finally behind us, we can get into the Steel era and all of his movies.
Woo! All his movies? All his movie, yeah.
Yeah. All right. So, before we even open in this one, I own the DVD to this, and the first thing that came up is, don't pirate this movie. or you get $5,000. It's like, who's gonna pirate this movie?
I mean, I guess I technically did. I guess.
I
So.
mean, that's not what I mean. They mean come back and like record it and sell it.
Yeah.
No one's gonna pirate this movie. It's not worth the $5,000 fine and the 2 years in prison for this movie.
And I think if they caught someone doing that, they would probably like, "Are you sure you want to pirate steel? There's better movies to pirate besides steel."
Exactly. I found it funny that they were like, "Yeah, you don't want to pirate this movie." It's like, okay, movie.
Okay, Hollywood.
All right. We open up with credits over molten metal just pouring for a long time. And then all of a sudden we're in a forest and a tank crashes through some trees. And then it's blown up by laser guns, wielded by Shaquille O'Neal himself.
I was just about to do a Shaq impression, but I can't do one. I'm Shaquille O'Neal. I dressed up as Iron Man. How was that?
I wasn't paying attention to you. I'm more focused on trying to get through this review.
Ouch.
Anyway, we get introduced to Shaq's character and all his friends that are pretty much the main cast of this movie.
Yeah. Well, before we hold on, I have my notes. The weapon testing they're doing, it seems really dangerous to be shooting at a tank full of live people with experimental guns, does it not?
They're soldiers.
Yeah, but like I'm pretty sure the army will put dummies
The
in there.
U.S. government owns them. They can do whatever they want with them.
Yeah, they are expendables.
Apparently.
Nudge, nudge. Next series, hopefully.
Anyway, this is also where this scene is where we learn about the hellacious dialogue.
The hellacious dialogue.
And quips in this movie. Oh my god, it is so bad. There's no cursing in this movie, but they want to curse in this movie.
I counted like one shit bomb. Besides that, yeah, like when they want to say like son of an ass or son of a bitch, they say like son of a biscuit or
yeah. And not only that, but man, do they like the quip in this.
It's not even good quips. Like, we're spoiled to Marvel quips nowadays. These are 1990 quips.
Like I said, hellacious quips.
Yeah. Now, I guess before we get into this was released in theaters, I guess, right?
Yes.
But this definitely is a made-for-TV movie.
I just realized, I don't know what this is rated. What is this rated?
PG? Oh, let me go back to the thing.
PG-13.
Really? So that's how, okay.
Apparently, because it felt like a G movie to me.
It did, didn't it? It felt like I could have watched this on a Disney Channel. I'm like, okay.
I do get the TV movie feel, but I actually felt like it was one of those action movies with a no-brand, like a Steven Seagal or something.
not even Steven Seagal, but definitely like a Shaquille O'Neal. Yeah, just very watered down.
Like, this is Jean-Claude Van Damme karate movie or superhero movie or something like that. You know what I mean?
Like, if they released it nowadays, they definitely would have snuck it on Netflix, like under one of the new releases that no one would have noticed.
And it's definitely not a superhero movie as far as we know superhero movies. It feels like just a general action movie with a guy dressing up in like a steel costume at the end.
Yeah. And it takes I guess I won't say it now, but it takes like 45 minutes to get to that point, so.
Yeah, it takes forever. And the movie's only an hour and a half.
Exactly. So halfway through it, he finally dons the suit. I was like, man, really?
Yeah, and that's when the superhero stuff comes in. But even then, it's like I said, it felt like just a general action movie, or maybe a mystery movie at certain points, but not really even.
Yeah, which I did enjoy that about it, honestly.
It felt like a movie we would review.
Yes.
Off like a hiatus episode or something.
Yes.
Because it does not fit with the rest of the genre.
No. This is more like a family feel-good action kids movie, not superhero.
Yeah.
Let's get back to what?
I mean, we do get some deaths and stuff, but we'll get to that.
Do we get some deaths? Yeah, we do. But like nothing, it's not gory at all. It's like,
no, everything's off screen.
Yeah, and the little blood you do get, it's really a little bit of blood.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, we're introduced to Shaq and his friends. You got the Colonel guy.
Sounds like a TV show. Shaq and his friends.
You got the Colonel guy. You got the friend/love interest. You got Judd Nelson as the bad guy.
Yeah.
And they all are in the army together, apparently. They're all weapons development, which really pushes the stretch of believability, because there's no way I believe that Shaq built these weapons.
Oh no, hearing him say those lines of computer lingo and jargon, like, man, he is definitely doesn't know what he's saying. But I have to keep reminding myself, he's acting. He's acting.
Yeah.
He's an athlete acting. It's
Yeah,
just a movie.
He is definitely acting. I will give him credit. He apparently learned all of his lines when he came to film this. So,
oh yeah, because during the filming, he was during the '97 Olympics, so he definitely had a full schedule.
and I think he was still playing for the Lakers at the time.
Yeah, so like him in this movie wasn't the worst thing.
No, it might have been the worst thing, but he tried his best.
He did. He's not walking through it. Let's say that.
Right? Yeah. No, he gave it his all. He tried.
Yeah.
You gotta admire that.
You're not wrong. Like he does. Like he's enjoyable in this for sure. Like he's not. I don't want to bash him for being a bad actor.
I don't want to knock him for being a bad actor too, because there are actors out there who are just bad and don't give a shit.
Exactly, and that's their job. Was a basketball player, so this was just a hobby for him.
But with all that being said, he is terrible at this.
He's got to stick to DJing and doing commercials. That's what he's got to stick to.
I mean, like I said, he's okay, I guess, with what he has.
I guess this is his first movie, so it's not bad for his first outing.
Is it, though?
Let me check, actually. Now I'm curious.
I don't think it was. I remember him being a genie, wasn't he?
No, that's yeah, he was Shazam. We should review that. He's got a long list of acting credits. So he's been in a few shorts. He's been in a TV series. Kazam, that's what it was.
Right, Kazam, wasn't that before that?
Yep, that was 96. Then he does some guest appearances like Good Burger. So dumb.
Anyway, so they're showing this center around, showing her all the weapons and stuff that they were testing. And Judd Nelson is angling for like a promotion, saying he can make these weapons even more destructible, so forth and so forth. So they're going to test the sonic gun, and they're about to show the thing, and then Judd Nelson walks in front and says, "Let me do it," and he maxes the power outage, which they had not tested yet, which seems like a stupid thing to be able to do in the first place. Why would you even set a max power if you haven't tested it yet?
Like, yeah, like why not like put like a clip in there so it doesn't reach that or something? I don't know.
Or even why design it with the ability to raise it up if you're not ready for that and put it in later? Exactly. This is just a prototype. Anyway, Judd Nelson raises the max power gun. It shoots like a ball of force, which shoots out and destroys a building, bounces back and destroys their building, which causes stuff to fall not on everybody, but it kills the senator and cripples Shaq's love interest,
Susan Sparks. Get into this weapon attack / explosion. The special effects aren't that bad. Like the destruction wasn't like, I thought it'd be like low quality. Like no, they actually destroy some buildings. And
well, the movie has a $17 million budget.
Yeah, and it definitely put it to use in some parts.
Yeah, like it's not poorly made.
No, and that's what I expected going in. I thought this would be like a low quality movie. It's not that low.
No, it's just not applied very well.
Yes, it's not Batman.
I guess we should get into, this is clearly not an adaptation of the John Henry Irons from the...
Oh, yeah. We didn't say that yet?
No.
Okay.
Clearly not. This is, it's all original. None of the characters are from the comics except for Shaquille O'Neal.
So, you're the comic book guy. Do you want to explain who John Henry Adams is?
Irons. Yeah. Okay. John Henry, well, everyone knows the death of Superman in the 90s.
Yes.
It was big news around it. Doomsday comes and Superman dies. And I probably explained this on the show before. In the wake of his death, 4 Supermen rose up to take his place. It was Cyborg Superman, who was a villain, Superboy, third one I can't remember off the top of my head right now, and the last was John Henry Irons, who was named the man. Every Superman took like a nickname from the Superman who died, and his was Man of Steel, in which they shortened to Steel. And so he built a suit of iron to emulate, or steel, I should say, emulate Superman's powers, so he can fly and and had super strength, kind of because of the steel armor. Because he's a doctor and an inventor and a scientist in the comics.
Yes.
And he's really the only one that really was close to Superman's ideal of what Superman was supposed to be. As you know, and so when Superman was resurrected, him and joined Superman, and he became part of Superman's team. Essentially, they worked together a lot closely because they had similar ideas. He's like the super good guy of what came out of the death of Superman.
Did he
Essentially,
have any flaws? Like, did he have like any hiccups? I guess as being his wannabe superhero. Like, did he
go on.
kill or did he anything like crazy like that?
Nah,
Oh, okay.
he was as close to Superman as you can get to be without Superman. Essentially, he was the Superman analog. Essentially, that took over for Superman, essentially competing with the other three Superman at the time. Like Lois Lane was criticizing those Superman in the comics was less critical of John Henry Irons because of how much like Superman he was. No one's gonna replace Superman, but he was the closest to the ideal of what Superman was.
Okay.
And he wielded the giant sledgehammer in that too, and actually uses a hammer. I don't think it's a gun in the comics, though.
No.
I don't remember a gun ever being in that part of it. He also has a red cape in the comics, which they took off in this because the director who created the Incredible Hulk show, did not want to do a superhero movie.
Weird. I mean,
And
I'm glad they didn't have the cape because it's kind of like over the top. I feel.
well, the cape is, he was replacing Superman. It was in honor of Superman. And this movie, from what I read, was apparently supposed to be more comic accurate. It was supposed to be following the death of Superman storyline and, him rising up and everything like that. But when they got this guy to direct and write the screenplay, they kind of just divorced it. Also, that movie was in development hell, from what I read.
Oh, because I kind of would have been curious to see how that would have turned out.
Yeah, apparently it was in development hell for a long time.
Yeah.
And then it finally just got divorced completely from that storyline, and they just did their own thing. Which, honestly, is probably best for them, because if this was anything like trying to be comics accurate, it would have been way worse, even though it bombed.
Oh, yeah, this would have gotten a worse rating, in my opinion.
But anyway, that's my diatribe on the comics. But there's nothing to really complain about there, because it's like reading an Elseworld story of what happens if Shaq became Steel, Anyway, so after Judd Nelson blows up the building, we get revealed that Shaq has super strength in this movie, because that's definitely new.
Yeah, because I got nothing. I'm just watching it.
Yeah, like, he doesn't have the suit on or anything. He's just in his military garb, and he just lifts this giant sheet of rock. So, I guess Shaq has superpowers.
Yeah, and it's a long sequence, too, which made me laugh.
Oh, there's a lot of long sequences in this.
Yeah, they had the run. Like, man, we have an hour and a half to make this a real movie, and we only have an hour and 20 minutes of real footage.
There's like 3 chase scenes in this that goes long as that Superman and Mole
Yeah.
Man.
There's that railroad one we get to later. Like, man, this is really definitely Superman and Mole Man right now.
That was definitely the worst one, too. We'll get to that slow chase.
Oh, man. Okay, can't wait.
Anyway, we're court-martialing Judd Nelson now because, and they actually do. They court-martial him for, killing a senator and pretty much doing stuff.
Now, like, when did he get arrested and, like, jail time for this?
I mean, it all depends, really.
I mean, they pretty much found him guilty, didn't they?
They found him guilty, but at the same time, it's not like he was intentionally trying to kill anybody.
But aren't there, like, I don't want to get into, like, law and all that shit, but, like, aren't there degrees of manslaughter, like, intentional, unintentional, etc.?
Yeah, but I don't know how military tribunals work.
That's true.
It works differently in the military. I mean, they probably dishonorably discharged him without a doubt.
I guess, because they don't mention anything. It's just, there's just that quick court scene, and then they both leave.
I mean, and technically he didn't disobey orders or anything like that. They allowed him. They didn't say not to do it. He just did it to try to impress the senator, and it was a horrible accident. And probably in real life he would have got. Well, I say in real life, but that's not true either.
Oh, that's sad.
Technically, he should have probably got manslaughter, but because the senator did die, but at the same time, it's an experiment gone wrong. So,
But because of his error, because of his mistakes.
right, which is why it would be manslaughter,
Yeah.
not murder. But like I said, military tribunals are different, and I'm not sure how those laws work.
Yeah, well, if we have any military listeners who are in that part of the sector, or whatever gibberish I have to say, respond to us. Let us know.
Anyway, the colonel, outside of the court martial, well, after Judge Nelson yells at Shaq for testifying against them.
Any scene with Shaq arguing with someone while he's still in civilian clothes is like, man, he is a tall man to be arguing with.
Oh, yeah. And Judge Nelson's not intimidated at all, which is weird.
Because he goes a little up to Shaq's belly. Like, man, this is... I don't know how you could get an argument with someone that... I'm a tall dude myself. I can't imagine getting someone...
But what's even weirder is the fact that he yells at Shaq for snitching on him, but he's not the only one that was there. Everyone's testifying against you, dude.
Yeah, because everyone saw you do it.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know what you expected. But anyway, after he gets court-martialed, outside, Shaq is talking to the colonel who wants to continue with the weapons research because of how powerful it is. But Shaq's like, no, people got hurt, so I quit.
That's it. Is that your Shaq impression?
That's my Shaq impression.
I was not expecting that. Damn it, that's hilarious.
Yeah, that's it.
Oh fuck. Okay, I'm good.
So then, after Shaq quits, he goes to the hospital to visit Sparks. Is that her name?
Yeah, Sparks. He calls it Sparks.
His love interest, essentially.
That's
Friend.
That's like it's not an open love interest, like a secret. I can't say it's a.
I mean, they kind of look each other longingly a lot of times in this movie.
What's a term for that? Like when it's like kind of like a Willy Wonka kind of thing.
Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah.
Anyway, so he goes to visit her, and she's paralyzed from the waist down. I think they didn't.
I'm glad they don't call her walks. Oh man.
Anyway, Shaq goes home.
It's a funny joke.
Shaq goes home to Los Angeles, and for some reason, so does Judd Nelson. He goes to LA too.
Yeah, everything. That's what like why is he free?
Well, I mean, that's the fact that he's free, but the fact that he happens to go to the same city that Shaq is kind of weird.
Again, unless like they live in the same area.
I mean, but why would they?
Because movies, I guess.
But he didn't live there. He went there because a former associate is there.
You're right, yeah.
So it just happens this guy he used to work with happens to be in this same town that Shaq happens to go. And then we get the first, as Shaq goes home, we get the first, Shaq can't throw a free throw into a basket joke.
And I thought I would hate these jokes, and I loved each time they were on screen. There's like 3 or 4 of them, but they were just, to me, they're delightful every time.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny that he's making fun of himself because he put those in himself.
Exactly, he can like own up, like, yeah, I'm bad at this part of my job.
Yeah, so.
Oh man, and so far the movie I enjoy. Like, it's a fun movie so far.
It's a bit ridiculous.
Yeah, that's like it's. Well, what do you mean by ridiculous?
Like, it's over the top.
That's why, like,
in its attempt to try to make us believe what this movie is trying to make us believe. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I think it kind of succeeds in that just for the fact it's trying to make you believe Shaquille O'Neal is a scientist / military member / like all around good, like this character. Like, I don't know, it's a stretch, but I'm gonna try to believe in that movie.
Well, I will give the movie this. All the other characters were believable.
Oh yeah, it's just like I can't say he's not believable. It takes a certain point, and then you're like, okay, yes, Shaquille O'Neal being this character.
Well, the most believable he is when he's in that ridiculous outfit.
Weird, right?
Yeah,
very, very weird. Like as soon as he puts that on, like, okay, I get this.
Anyway, so Judd Nelson walks into, I guess, an arcade.
Yeah, this kind of like was weird to me. He walks
an arcade and an arcade inside of an office building.
Well, I guess it's an office building that makes arcades. systems.
Yeah,
and
but
all that
I
shit,
don't think
games.
that's how. I think it's just an office building, and they create the arcades in other places.
Well, the building is called. I can't even read that sign.
Yeah,
Dante.
sounds weird.
Yeah, it's like impossible to read. But it looked. His guy he's going to talk to makes arcade machines and all that. And so I
Yep,
guess the
and
floor level is surrounded by arcades, which is fine. But in the middle of all that, there's a secretary, the receptionist. Like that sounds like this seems like the worst position to put that at, with all those loud
yeah.
machines and all that loud noise, and
All right.
expecting to get phone calls and all that.
Did you see the that they had an arcade cabinet of NBA Jam?
Yes, I'm guessing he was in that game probably.
I think he was,
Yeah.
but they didn't show the name of it. You only saw the screen.
Yes.
Anyway, there's a business meeting going up between this clearly evil guy in charge of this business.
He just looks evil. He's got the long blonde hair.
Yeah, he's clearly he's selling illegal weapons or some shit like that. I don't know. They don't really explain it.
No.
So we get introduced to him and his two assistants.
One of which is Kevin G something.
Yeah.
The big guy that talks really deep.
Like really deep
Yeah.
like this. And I'm wondering if that's his actual voice.
That's
Probably not.
That's his real voice.
Is it really?
I had looked up interviews with him. Like that's his real talking voice. Like man,
Wow.
yeah,
That's a weird voice to have.
Yeah, like it's so deep. It sounds strained a little bit.
Yeah, like it was put on.
Yeah, it sounds like it hurts to talk like that. Like man, I'm sorry, bro.
Anyway, Shock goes to visit his grandmother.
Now that's his grandma and the black kid with him, and that's his brother, I guess.
Yeah, because apparently they have the same grandmom.
Yeah, because he says at the end of the movie, like, "Oh, that's your brother." Oh, I thought it was a random black kid.
Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah. Oh, I can say this now. This is our first black superhero, guys. This is our first black outing, and it was okay. It was okay. At the grandmom scene, they do that cliched '90s bit of everybody talk really quiet because there's a souffle right here.
Is that a common trope?
Oh my god, it used to happen all the time in the '90s, early 2000s. I remember.
Oh, I don't. This is the first time I've seen it.
I've seen it so many, especially in a lot of TV shows at the time, and then it just stopped because I guess they realized this is stupid. We should stop doing this dumb trope.
Oh,
I can't call it. There's a trope or a cliche trope. Let's call it a trope.
This movie is better than it has any right to be.
Right? and we said a lot of our movies so far. This has
Yeah. But some of them were as bad as they should have been.
Yes, but like Fantastic Four was not that bad.
Oh, we did cover a Fantastic Four.
Yeah, we did. It was enjoyable.
That's right. I forgot about that one.
Yeah, and this is enjoyable. Like the bad movies we review that are supposed to be bad are not that bad.
Anyway, he gets a job at a ironworks place, I think.
Yeah,
Where he's smelting metal and stuff like that.
They don't really mention it, but yeah.
Yeah, all right. So he's working there, but there are two women that work in this place.
Yeah, they are.
Who are like
not dressed at all for the job.
Not dressed at all. They're all done up. They have no dirt on them whatsoever. They do not look like they belong. They're just there to eye Shaquille O'Neal to make him seem like he's a ladies' man.
Well, I thought first off, they're not dressed like scantily or anything like that. They're dressed in overalls and all that shit. But I thought
no, they're not.
Yeah. Wait, what?
Yeah, like t-shirts and stuff on.
They had overalls, didn't they?
I didn't see overalls at all. They were not in uniform. That's for damn sure.
I remember they weren't dressed slutty like how they would dress them nowadays. Like they still had clothes on.
So out of place in that steelwork.
Yes, they were really like they had makeup on. Obviously, they were just pretty ladies. To me, I thought they were like not foremen, but like someone who just like analyzing the job site was doing well. I guess that's what I imagined.
What did you imagine? I missed that.
Not that the foremen, but people who go to job sites to make sure, like OSHA, okay, make sure everything's in check.
No, because they're the ones that were giving him his paycheck later.
Maybe they're those people. Yes, I don't. They're pretty. I don't know.
They were there just to be pretty.
Exactly.
It made no sense. They could have had those same scenes out on the street. I don't know why they had to be working at his job.
Because he was sweaty and tall, dark, and handsome.
Not that women can't do that job, but they were not in uniform. They did not. They stood out there in that place. They were clearly actresses. That's all I'm saying.
You sound pretty sexist, TJ.
Well, I am. I'm the most sexist person in the world.
No, I thought the same thing, though. Not you being sexist. We all knew that. But, like, that scene where they're just walking by. Oh, they're not wearing overalls. You're right. They're just wearing just jeans and t-shirts. You're right.
Yeah, no, they don't. It doesn't fit. Anyway, the evil corporate guy is smuggling weapons through arcade machines, apparently.
Which is a plot, I guess.
Not really, because it never comes back.
It doesn't. I thought it'd be like more of a thing, but it's not.
But Judd Nelson is going to create weapons for this guy, but the woman assistant, doesn't like that. And she lets Judd Nelson know. And then cut over, there's a scene between it that's not important. And when we cut back to them, the two assistants of the guy are getting there, and one of the women. And Judd Nelson asks the black guy that we talked about, what's his name?
His real name or the character name?
Real name.
Kevin. His last name is French. I can't say it.
Yeah, the Kevin guy. He asked him to come out, and then he kills the other.
You didn't say if they're getting an elevator. You didn't say that part.
I did. It was the first thing I said.
I didn't hear you say elevator.
I said elevator. Anyway, she gets in the elevator, and he pushes the button, and he kills her. And then he asks the Kevin guy to if he's going to be on his team. And he's like, yeah, I'm going to be on your team. And then he is for the rest of the movie.
Which I think is weird about this, because it happens so quickly. Like, when do you get the time to make this device to drop and destroy the elevator?
He is a scientist creating all the weapons. He just has this ability.
Like, did he do it his first day back and just waited for the right time? Like, okay.
And elevators really do crash like that. They don't have emergency brakes and other thousands of wires and all this other things that actually stop, because that's not a myth that elevators actually fall like that. I don't think there's ever actually been a modern elevator that's actually crashed like that.
No.
So,
just that whole scene, like, wait, what? That's not how that works, is it?
But anyway, they crash and she's dead, along with like poor people in there with her.
Yeah, just 4 innocent.
That did nothing to him.
No.
Because he's evil.
Yeah, you guys get it? Yeah, he's a bad dude, guys. Don't cross him.
Anyway, he manages to create these weapons pretty quickly, apparently. Because next thing we know, we got people using sonic guns to break into... I don't know what this place is. They break into this place with this, they blow up the windows and stuff, and then they use a laser cutter to cut through a safe. But the floor that they go into is just computer cubicles.
Yeah, it's weird, isn't it?
I don't know if it was a bank. It didn't look like a bank. It looked like it was like a computer program place or something.
But then why would it have a vault, right?
Yeah, vault full of money. So I have no idea what they were robbing. But they were robbing it. And then Shaq is in the car with his brother and I guess an old girlfriend with a female police officer. And they're going to a town meeting for some reason that never comes back up. They just add facts in here for no reason. I don't know what half this stuff is in here for.
Just give reason why the character is out and about, I guess.
I guess. He could have just been there for a ride-along.
Yeah, exactly.
He doesn't need to be going to a town meeting. But anyway, they get the call that the place is being robbed, and then cops show up, and this is where they could show off the laser beams and all this stuff like that. But, Shaq gets out and tries to help and while the cop stays in the car and just lets Shaq and the kid get out of the car.
She's literally just watching.
As she's watching, just so she can get her squad car can get knocked over. And this is the second female companion Shaq's had that got injured in like 10 minutes.
Yeah, he does his typical, I'm gonna yell your name and run towards you and hold you from safety or danger.
Yeah, so I thought that was going to be like a thing in this where every woman that we encounter just gets, but it doesn't.
No.
And anyway, go ahead.
I was going to say, these weapons, they seem so ineffective and weak to me. Like the pulse array guns, I guess, that like knock over buildings and cars, that's fine. But the handheld weapons that like shoot the lasers, you have to hold it there for 5 minutes to do its job, or the ones that shoot sparks at people, I'd rather have a regular gun. The guns are effective enough.
But they're not impressive.
They're not flashy, but like the guns get the job done. And later on, when he's like Judd Nelson does his spiel to the evil guy, says, "These are rechargeable, so you have to come back to me." I'll just get a gun then and get some bullets and just call that a day.
But they can't break into safes with guns.
I'm fine. I have to hold a laser there, just slowly. Like it's just like, nah, I don't have time for this.
Anyway, moving on.
Sorry. And then we get to our long...
Nope. Before that, there's one of the robbers is a stupid idiot and stays behind while the rest of them escapes.
Oh, yeah.
And so Jack sees him, and he starts running away, and then Jack chases him for a long, long time.
And a longer time than that.
Because he chases him through the streets, then through an alley, as Shaq awkwardly jumps over walls and fences.
Like so this man is 6'7", I guess, and he is just a behemoth. And watching him do these things, just like it's funny, but then it's like awkward at the same time.
And then this kid jumps over barbed wire fence into a train yard and comically punches out a guy who falls on the tracks who's about to be run over by the slowest train ever. And then Shaq shows up to save him. They didn't show us how Shaq got over that barbed wire, though.
No. Probably just walked over because he's so damn tall.
They're like, nah, we can't film this. He's going to hurt himself.
Right, we can't have our Olympic NBA player get hurt himself for the games.
Yeah, exactly. But then we slowly go through this train yard as trains are coupling and uncoupling, and they're just chasing through the train yard forever and ever, and it won't end.
Climbing over the trains and under and through the trains, and oh my goodness.
And finally, the kid gets to a point where he shoots a train on top of Shaq, but Shaq rolls over to the open train car that just happened to be open at that time. And the kid thinks he's got away, but no, Shaq's on and corners him and grabs him and puts him up the wall and says, "Who sold you this gun?" And then he gets shot in the back by a guy with an eye patch. And then they escape.
I'll admit, the scenes where Shaq is like more intimidating and angry, it's kind of believable when he's shaking people down.
It's believable that he's scary, but it's not believable what he's asking.
Yes.
It's like, tell me what you know.
Yeah.
It's like, why? You don't even want to know.
Tell me. But like, yeah.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, so Shaq was shot. I did that one.
Then he's got a phone call. He gets shot, but like he recovers so quickly, apparently.
Yeah, well, we cut to the next morning, it looks like, and he's on the phone with the colonel guy from earlier, saying, "How did our weapons get on the street?" And he's like, "We're on it." And then he's like, "I don't believe you." And then he breaks the poor payphone.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, payphone is a phone on the street that you put a quarter in to call people back in the day before cell phones.
What a time, man. What a time. Guys,
yeah, but
that's so fascinating when you say it like that. Like, we have computers in our pocket. We had to go back in the day and just go to a corner to a filthy, grimy piece
and hope someone was home, because if they weren't, you weren't getting hold of them.
Hope they were home. Yeah, hope they would answer. Hope the phone was connected and not cut and torn to pieces for some reason because people suck. Oh god, I hope the buttons were stuck. Oh man, what a time. Cell phones are great.
Anyway, Shaq goes to this crappy pool hall club. I don't know what this place is. Bar?
It looks like a bar. Well, I say it's a bar.
It has a bar.
Yeah.
But there are people dancing in the entrance.
Well, it's like a gang hangout, I guess.
And broad daylight, I might add you.
Yeah.
So it's like trying to get a club scene in the middle of the day, which doesn't work.
Nah. Well, they would tell us where. Oh, I'm sorry. Do you ever tell us what city this is? This is LA?
This is Los Angeles.
Okay.
So he goes in, he tries to intimidate them. They all just pull guns on him.
This Hollywood gang, right?
Yeah, they all pull guns on him, like, and Shaq's like trying to be intimidated, and it's like, he walked in here with nothing but you.
Yeah.
These are gang members.
Right.
What that are supposed to have these weapons that you're after, and you're just gonna walk in and say, "Tell me," and they're gonna tell you?
For being like a really smart computer programming weapons designer, you're really dumb.
Yeah, he is the most stupid plan ever.
Yeah.
And anyway, we go from this weird scene to him learning about Sparks being transferred to St. Louis, and then all of a sudden we're in St. Louis in a veterans hospital.
This movie is I appreciate that about this movie. It's fast paced. It's only an hour and a half, which is great, so I need it. But like, what?
And so now we're at the hospital, and she's all depressed because she can't walk and stuff like that. Weird. And Shaq's trying to tell her, shake her out of it, and then he breaks the window.
Literally, just bust open this window.
And then proceeds to kidnap her against her will, while all the veterans in there applaud.
She's screaming, "No, put me down, put me down." None of these people know who he is. No one knows who he is. They're just in their own world. And she's like, "Help me, someone, please put me down. I don't want to go." And they're like, "Yeah, woo!"
Yeah, and after he breaks the window.
Yeah, what?
And like he goes over like he's going to open the window, but it's not one of those windows. It's like a wall window, and he pushes it out and pretty much breaks the entire wall.
Yeah.
I hope he has money stashed away somewhere, because he's done so much property damage. He's gonna have to pay for all of it.
He does so much in this movie, and just that scene, like this scene, like that. The fact that they're applauding, it makes no sense. And it's just weirded me out so much when I saw it.
Yeah, well, just applaud the kidnapping of this woman. And
right? It's a big black man taking this wheelchair woman out. Like,
I was about to say you could tell me if this is racist or not.
No.
But this is a giant black man taking a crippled white woman out of a mental hospital.
Again, as she's saying, "Stop, put me down." Like, what the?
Yeah, it's a very weird imagery. That's all I'm saying.
Oh man, so it gave me chills when I watched it the first time. Like, what am I watching?
Anyway, but not only does he pick her up and kidnap her, he takes her all the way back to Los Angeles. They were in Cincinnati, Ohio.
So they get in a fight like that, and she's still crying. So what?
I guess. I don't know. Because we just cut from one state to the
You're
other.
right. I mean, think about that. What a long plane ride home.
Anyway, we get introduced to Uncle Joe. I don't think it's his actual uncle, but
It could
everyone
be.
cool. I don't know. He owns like a what is it?
A scrapyard, junkyard.
A scrap yard. Yeah, and this is their home base apparently. I guess Sparks just lives here now.
He takes it from a nice, what's it called, a mental home or some whatever the hell?
It's a veterans hospital.
They take it from a nice veterans hospital with top-notch care to a scrapyard. But he shows her a bathroom they just made for her. We got you a bathroom. It's terrible. This is like the cleanest scrapyard, by the way, too.
Yeah, it is the cleanest scrapyard.
I don't feel dirty at all here.
And she's like, all right, so what are we doing here? What's the point? And they're like, we're going to make weapons. What?
We're going to legally manufacture weapons, military-grade weapons. It's like, you just kidnapped me.
And she's like, what? What? This is a scrapyard. We don't have anything. And then Uncle Joe shows up with like a motherboard or thing, I don't know, and says, fell off the back of the truck. We'll get things that fall off back of trucks.
He hands her a pen and paper. What else could fall off the back of a truck? Like, oh my god.
We're going to steal all the stuff that we need, essentially. So that said.
It's like the weirdest 10 minutes in the movie, and I love it. I love it so much.
And then we go from that ridiculousness to this cliche where she falls out of her wheelchair. And Uncle Joe is going to run over, but Shaq stops her. She's got to do it herself. And she, all the music swells, and she gets back up in her wheelchair, and she feels confident again. She's no longer depressed.
And Shaq's like, I told you she could do it.
Yeah. Meanwhile, a crippled woman just fell out of her wheelchair, lying there.
Basically, it feels like, why am I here? I was in a veterans hospital a day ago.
And then Shaq still sucks at free throws at this point.
I love these bits so much.
And then we get a montage of, them building the uniform and them setting up the computer system and, while this song plays.
I wrote down, the music's crap, by the way. But
this bad, terrible song.
It's like, what's the other one we saw reviewing, and it was really bad music for that, too?
It was either Punisher or Captain America.
I think it was Punisher.
It was one of those two, but I remember the bad country music.
Or was that Swamp? It was Punisher. It was definitely Punisher, yeah. It's like that level of shit, like over the top bad music.
I think it might have been Captain America, actually, now that I'm thinking about it.
Oh, the colored one.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think it was the colored Captain America, the 1990 version.
Yes, I was thinking black and white, but yeah, it was 1990s. Oh, man, that was bad. But I wrote down my notes, laughable computer screens that says, like, top secret. Shows a picture of a gun.
Yeah, it's stupid. And this is actually where I first noticed that he has a Man of Steel tattoo, Shaq.
Yeah.
And it, has the Superman symbol and stuff on it.
And I believe that's a real tattoo on him.
Oh, is it?
I'm going to check right now, but I'm pretty sure he has a tattoo in real life.
But it's, it's a reference to Superman and stuff. There's a few of those throughout it.
Yeah. No, it's a real tattoo.
At least he's a fan, I guess.
Yeah. Unless that was his nickname or something back in the day. I don't watch sports, so I can't tell you.
Anyway, so he's smelting metal in the middle of this junkyard. Do they just have smelters in the middle of junkyards? I don't think that's how junkyards work.
It fell off the back of a truck, TJ.
Oh yeah, you're right. Sorry. Yeah. Anyway, he built his costume steel, and so we're gonna take it for a field test. And we cut over to this guy, Robin.
Well, hold on. First off, his costume looks so rubbery.
We're not there yet.
No, but
we're
even
not there.
I'm just saying the part he's holding up, like on his leg, looks so rubbery and plastic. Like that's not metal.
So we get this like he's not clean cut, but he's got a well manicured beard and long, like, blonde hair. Robber, like, this is
Hollywood.
the least looking robber I've
Yeah.
ever seen in my life.
This is
He's got
Hollywood.
clean clothes on, and he's just got a switchblade. He walks up to this old couple and says, give me your books. I don't even know what he stole because it wasn't a purse.
These are actors they found out of acting class. You, and you. Like the gang he was confronting. They were just black actors, like, just trying to act like gang members. Like, this is actors being actors. Like he's like,
Well,
clean clothes are just like pristine.
Anyway, so this robber steals something out of these people's hands, and he goes around the corner, and then we get our first look at Steel proper.
Yay, 45-minute mark.
Dad, you want to talk about the suit? I know you do.
It's bad. It's bad, but it makes sense for his first outing. If that makes sense. It looks.
He's got like chain mesh under his neck.
Yes.
And in certain part, it looks like almost a knight's suit of armor.
Yeah, that's what they're going for. Yeah. Yeah, it's like, I can't describe it really.
We're gonna get into the impracticality of it in a moment, though.
Oh yeah,
because he stops the robber, but then they hear that there's gang violence going on down the street, so he goes over there, and these guys are like trying to driving in their car trying to shoot these other guys, and Steel shows up.
Oh my god!
And then they're like, "Get out of the way, we're gonna shoot you," and he doesn't, so they shoot him. And then with a machine gun, where he's got his mouth and chin exposed.
Literally, from his nose down is all just skin.
His eyes are exposed.
Yep.
And when he raises his hand, his palms are exposed.
Yes.
So, anyway, his sledgehammer, which he never uses as a hammer.
You realize that, right?
Yeah, it's never used in its proper thing. I don't know if he just didn't want to use it as a hammer.
That'd be a great hammer. He used to like trip people and like...
And it turns into a gun.
Yeah, he only uses it as a gun.
And he uses it on the car here. And then he uses the hammer as an electromagnetic magnet and steals all their guns.
So stupid.
And stops the gang shootings? I don't know.
He solved LA's gang problem.
I guess.
Yeah, that's what happened.
I guess. But the cops showed up.
Uh-oh.
And he can't be there for the cops. So we get introduced to Bat-Steel.
Hey, hold on, you see what the officer's name is? You don't know the black guy's name? The officer's name was?
No.
I'll give you one guess.
Oh, it's Marcus.
Yeah. I'm in the movie, guys.
Sorry. You about 40 years from now.
Like more like 20 years. 10, 20.
Anyway.
Oh, you say I look young? Oh, thank you, TJ. I needed that. I needed that pick me up today.
No, you're a little too thin at the moment.
I'm not thin.
Thinner than this cop was.
Yeah.
Anyway, we get introduced to Bat-Steel as he uses a grappling hook to escape from the cops.
That's one thing I don't like about Batman or this. Is how the batarangs, like, there's no way it would support your weight.
Shaq's definitely made up shoddy stuff because it does not support his weight.
No, it does not. The first one does.
And then it starts to break. Anyway, he goes up to the rooftops and starts running very slowly away from the cops. As he lumbers away from the cops, this chase scene goes on forever, too.
It does. It really does. It does. It really, yeah. Because the first is the rooftop chase, and his armor starts falling off. You guys to carry that with him. Yeah,
and then he tries to go down with the line earlier, and it breaks, and he falls into a dumpster. Then he gets on the steel bike.
Yes, which just came out of nowhere. He just had it hidden conveniently, I guess.
Yeah, he just had it hidden in that part. Not only did he have it hidden in that alley, he was across town earlier stopping a robbery in a different spot of the town.
Exactly. So, like, how do you know? I mean, I guess he knew it was there, I guess, but he's going to get there. But, like, why?
Why did he park so far away?
Yeah, it's like...
Or does he have several stashed around the city?
Oh, okay. I like that idea.
If he does have several stashed around the city, how could he afford to have so many?
Military, whatever you call it.
He seems to have a lot of resources for a guy who works in a smelting place.
Well, he was in the military, remember? So he has that pension, or whatever they call it. I forget what they call it.
Their pension's not that much money.
It's enough when you make weapons, I guess.
I guess.
So this motorcycle scene lasts for a while.
Yeah, and then, it gets tense when the power goes out at home base and she can't tell him which way to go or change the traffic lights from red to green, because that's a big part. The traffic lights are red, he can't go through the traffic lights, so he needs them to turn green.
Even though he runs like 3 red lights. That makes no sense. I mean, I like that they do that bit. It's like probably the first time I guess I would have noticed it as a kid seeing that.
I guess, I don't know. So he drives around the cops are chasing him, the helicopter comes. So he goes back to the scrapyard, drives into it, and hides in the trash cave.
Because the trash, yeah, that's what trash cave. Because it opens up, it's hollow apparently. So stupid. I enjoy the movies when I watch them. Then when I review them and talk them out, I'm like, man, this is really dumb. Like I know it was dumb when I watched it. Like just saying the trash pile opened up and it's hollow. It's so stupid.
Yeah, and Marcus's partner in this movie even mentions that he disappears into the Batcave. So
I like that. That's another free throw and hits a dog in the face.
Number 3 mistry.
I love it.
Yep. They miss it again. And this is where we learned that, he has the worst cover identity ever. He's the only 7-foot tall black man in the city, apparently.
Exactly.
And apparently this 7-foot tall black guy in steel armor just shows up randomly in the city. I wonder who it could be.
Exactly. It's like I've always wanted to be a superhero, or I always wanted to be like something like that. But then, like at a young age, I realized I'm too tall in general to get away with shit like that without being pointed out. So Shaq being Shaq automatically be thumbed like, oh yeah, that's who you are. Like, there's no way have a secret identity for this.
Anyway, we cut back over to the criminals who are going to go rob the Federal Reserve.
Yay.
And
where's the Federal Reserve at? Is there more than one?
Yeah, I think there's one in... I don't think there's one in every state. There might be, though.
Okay.
But I'm pretty sure there's ones in different major cities.
I'm going to Google it right now. I'm curious.
But, I'm not 100%. Anyway, the bad guys bombed the telephone lines for some reason.
There's 12 of them.
To knock out the... Huh?
There's 12 of them.
Yeah, I figured.
Sorry, yeah.
But yeah, they bombed the telephone lines, which knocks out the police communication. I don't think that's how police communications work. Is it really just simple? You just gotta knock out the power and then they can't communicate anymore?
I really hope it can't be that simple, can it?
No, because they have to have radios and stuff, right? The radios are on shortwave radio communication, I would think.
Yeah.
And that's what the operator's for. That's why they still have a dispatch and stuff like that.
No, that makes sense. Yeah, that's a flaw in the movie.
I mean, again, I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's not how that works. Anyway, the bad guys rob the Federal Reserve. Steele shows up. Then the cops show up. There's this big thing. The bad guys blow up the chopper, and Shaq saves Marcus from the chopper falling on top of him. And then the scene of the robbery is all over the news, which gets the interest of all the criminals in the world.
As all the criminals, you mean a small group of skinheads, some cartel, I guess, maybe? What else is it?
Some European guy, some woman.
What's funny, because in each of these groups, the main guy says something, looks at the other guys, and they all just nod their heads like, yeah.
Yeah, we need those weapons.
And the other guy's like, yeah. And they say another language. And the guy's like, yeah, see. And it's like, okay.
So Shaq hurt his chin in this fight scene. Just the only blood in the movie.
Yeah.
This little tiny cut that seems to be this big deal. He also apparently broke his ribs.
No, he didn't.
And so,
there's no way you break your ribs and still wear that outfit and run around doing what you're doing as a human.
So Spark/Oracle here, because she's clearly a Oracle ripoff from the comics.
My Oracle as in from Matrix?
No. Oracle as in Barbara Gordon.
Oh, okay.
Who was Batgirl, who got shot and was paralyzed and pretty much ran the computers and comms for practically all superheroes, essentially, but mostly the Bat family, and she was known as Oracle, and she sat behind a computer screen in her wheelchair and told them where to go and what to do.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, she's an Oracle ripoff. But, after all that, Shaq goes home to Grandmom, where they do the stupid souffle joke again.
Ugh.
And then there's a home invasion. People just breaking through the windows.
No. You can't say it's a home invasion. It's like the slowest, most awkward home invasion.
Yeah, but my point is, it's the SWAT team coming to arrest Shaq. But can they just break through windows and...
They usually go through the front door.
Yeah, like this guy breaks through the window and falls over the sink and stuff.
Yeah. And
And
he's
then
the first one. He comes in so awkwardly too. Not even
yeah.
tactical. He just literally just jumps through the window.
And don't they have to at least announce who they are?
Nowadays, I don't think. Yes, I think so.
I mean, because I'm just saying, if they would say, "Hey, this is SWAT, you're under arrest," I think he would have just gave up. But no, these guys just break into his house, so he defends himself and starts beating them up.
Yeah,
He gets
he was
arrested,
arrested.
and they found a laser gun in his basement because I guess they planted that in his basement, which never comes back because he gets out pretty easily. And this frame is the worst frame ever.
It is because he gets out easily. They never like reinvestigate him or anything like that.
Right.
Like
So
once he's out, he's out.
They put Shaq in a lineup, and they clearly could not find someone as tall as him.
No.
So they have the two people who were robbed that Shaq saved earlier, trying to identify them, and they lie and say they don't recognize them because he was polite and helped them.
Even though
They have
the whole time they keep saying the first guy's not tall enough, the second guy's, and they get taller and taller and take it to Shaq. So obviously Shaq's the guy. But then, like you said, they keep saying, but he was so nice. We're not going to say who it was.
And so, then they get Marcus, the cop, to come in and try and identify them. And he's like, I don't recognize him. It's because, he's Shaq saved them. So, being a hero pays off, kids.
Yeah, even though they had like a good moment together, eye to eye.
Mm-hmm. And so they put Jack.
Shaq.
I don't know who Jack is.
Shaq, the same thing.
They put Shaq in prison. And then I wrote internet for some reason.
Why? That's so weird because you and I had to. That's the exact same thing. I wrote down internet exclamation point because that's what they say in the next scene. They cut to the Nazis buying stuff online. Like, oh, it's so easy to buy stuff nowadays because the internet.
Because this is 1997 and that was prevalent at the time.
Oh man!
But yeah, so yeah, they're all trying to buy the guns online, and then Sparky breaks Shaq out of jail by stealing the district attorney's identity. Essentially,
yeah, they take his signature, they record his voice
to get him released from prison, and so yeah, Shaq just escaped from prison, so they should be hunting him down.
You would think so, yeah.
But no, we cut to that night, and they're gonna go get the bad guys because they know where they are because they're holding an auction. But as they're going there, Sparky cuts out because she's being held captive by the bad guys. And then at the auction, Shaq gets shot through a window because everybody who tried to sneak up on this auction is bad at sneaking up on them. Every one of them is easily caught.
Now, to be fair, I can't imagine trying to sneak in that armor.
Yeah, but even Uncle Joe, who was with him, got caught.
Yeah, but he should be the sneakiest, even though he's got a van and a dog. Because
they're all bad at their jobs, is all I'm saying.
She's in a wheelchair, so what do you think? It's like...
She wasn't there. She wasn't there to sneak up.
Where was she?
She was caught. She was found at the scrapyard and held at gunpoint. Yeah. But the other two were bad at their jobs.
Very bad.
Anyway, so the auction's happening, and now Shaq is caught pretty much at gunpoint by Judd Nelson. And Judd Nelson brings in the van and the criminals who's been robbing everything and says, we're going to use these guys as experiments. And then he shoots his own guys like an idiot, but doesn't kill them like an idiot.
He just shoots the one main guy, and they're just like, okay. But they don't fight back.
Right. And so no one fights back. Everyone's just watching. All the criminals are there for the auction. And then Shaq's like, you don't want his weapon. My hammer's better than his weapon. And then he's like, but you don't hit the red button because it will be too powerful. Like, it was a callback to the earlier scene where he pushed everything too far.
But such an obvious setup, though.
Yeah, I know. He's a stupid villain.
But he's supposed to be smart.
Yeah, I know. But this is a Shaquille O'Neal movie.
Fair.
I guess that ends that conversation.
No, you're not wrong.
Anyway, so Judd Nelson hits the button, which causes the electromagnet to go off, and so the steel hammer goes back to steel, and then Sparks uses her upgraded laser chair,
spinning circle,
and then
shoot random.
It spins circle and shoots randomly, which gives the guys that Judd Nelson just betrayed a chance to get up and use their guns and start shooting at them.
It's the weirdest shootout ever.
And it's just a giant shootout. And then Judd Nelson, towards the end of the shootout, he shows Shaq his new weapon, which is just a bigger sonic boom weapon.
Yeah, I was getting so excited.
It was nothing new.
No.
And he shoots Shaq with it, but it bounces off of Shaq like it did earlier in the movie, and comes back and kills him.
So stupid. So stupid. I didn't see the first time it hit Shaq. I just thought it was like somehow just got back at him. That is so stupid. That would have destroyed his spine.
Oh, by the way, Shaq had called the Colonel and told him what was going down. So the Colonel showed up, and they show up and wrap everything up. The day is saved. Steele's then the next day is talking to the Colonel over the phone, but he's using Arnold Schwarzenegger's voice.
Weird.
And the Colonel's like, "Is this you, Shaq?" And he's like, "No, I'm not Shaq." And that's it. Then we go to Grandma's house again, because her plot in this whole movie was trying to make a souffle so she can open up a restaurant called Black and Blue. Blue is in French blue, because she wants to be a French cuisine thing. And she opens up her restaurant. What a surprise.
Oh, such a happy ending for everyone.
And everyone's so happy. And Sparks adjusted created her chair so that she can stand up straight now. And then Shaq hugs her. And then we get the bad song again, and the movie ends.
Oh, what a beautiful story. It wasn't...
You know what? I enjoyed watching it.
You did too?
I did enjoy watching it, but about an hour through, I was like, how long is this movie?
Yeah. I stopped literally at the 45-minute mark when he got sued. I'm like, okay, cool. Pause the movie, go to sleep, do this tomorrow.
But,
yeah,
like you said, going back over this movie as a review, this movie is bad.
It is bad. When you first watch it, it's really enjoyable. Like, okay, it's a feel-good, fun kids movie.
It's engaging, yeah.
Talking it through, it's like, oh, this is ridiculous. This is really stupid.
and I was starting to lose. The points are going down. The further and further more we kept going on with the review.
Like it started off like at a 5. It started off strong. Like, man, okay. Oh.
Yeah, I was out of 5 coming into this review. But as we kept talking, I'm like, wow, okay, maybe not.
That's so weird because it's like, man, so this is definitely a one-time watch if you ever do watch it.
Oh yeah.
Oh man, watch it with a kid or two because they might really enjoy it. Honestly,
it is ridiculous enough.
Yeah,
but I don't know. Shaq is kind of hard to get used to.
He is like the most unbelievable thing about this movie, I guess.
Yeah. I don't know.
Overall, I still thoroughly enjoyed it. Yeah, it's not atrocious.
Which is why it's not like a 1 or a 2.
Yeah, and I was debating since I was watching it. Is this a 3 or a 4? I guess Batman was a 2. Batman and Robin was definitely a 2.
Yeah,
5's too high because it's average. So it's like somewhere between those two. I think 3 or 4. I don't know where I should land this at.
Well, before the review, I was leaning at a 5, probably a 4, but now I think I'm at a 3.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Like,
think about a 3 with this one.
If I just watched the one time, it would be easily a 4.
Yeah. But if we having to go back through it
and talk it,
and spend another hour and a half on it.
Oh man, and to actually really analyze it and talk like, no, that's stupid. Oh, that's also stupid. That's also ridiculous. Yeah, I give this a 3 as well. But it's a good 3. It's a fun 3.
It's definitely, but it's only a one-time.
Yes.
Fun 3. This movie will not be fun a second time around.
No. It won't be miserable the second time around. Like, if you're drinking or whatever with friends watching this, like, it's a good laugh.
Yeah, but I'm wondering if one of us had actually watched this when we were younger and come back to it, how we would feel about it.
I can tell you right now, if I watched this when I was younger, I would have loved this movie. I think I would have gave this it would have been the Batman and Robin all over again.
Well, that's my point. Yeah. Would you, coming back and looking at it in a critical eye, would it be as betraying?
I don't think so, because it still feels good. While Batman and Robin felt like, man, they're trying something that's not working. This tried something and it kind of worked. Like, if I saw this as a kid on Disney Channel, I would have loved it. And watching it now, I think I still would have really enjoyed it.
It felt like the Punisher and Captain America movie within its own genre. You know what I mean? It felt like one of those superhero movies. Like it's just an action movie with a superhero name attached to it.
Yes. How can we sell more tickets? Let's make it one of these characters instead of some other character.
Without any of the comic storyline behind it.
Yes,
So.
which is apparently a trope of that time period.
Which is actually probably a good thing for this movie, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I agree.
Alright, I'm done talking to these idiots.